Ooh la la, bonjour. That's the about French I know, to be honest. Bonjour, welcome to a special beer review because we have got a slight review and a slight, we got a comparison, basically. I've been wanting to do this for a while, quite a while, but I've never seen the UK version about until a couple of weeks ago. And there I saw it. So we're off to Kronenburg. Now, last year I did review this. This is the Kronenburg Blanc. This, I can't remember if it's one of these beers which, to be honest, can be a guilty pleasure for some. And I was I think I was quite scathing of it, to be honest. I think I was a bit scathing of it. But over time, you start to realise that lots of people do drink this, and lots of people think it's very, very good, which is strange. And this is the French brewed version, because when it came into the UK, it was all brewed in France. Okay, Tesco made a big thing of it coming into the UK. So it's brewed in France, and someone told me that eventually it's going to be brewed in the UK. So there are my French ones. And there we have the UK brewed Kronenburg Blanc 1664. Okay. So they must be very, very confident with this, because this was mixed with the French. The French, there is few bottles of the French version in the supermarket, but it's all mixed together. Okay, this could be a very, very pointless video, to be honest, because in theory, in an ideal world, these should be exactly the same, shouldn't they? The brewing recipe, I think these are brewed at Tadcaster. I was at Tadcaster a few weeks ago. I think they're at Tadcaster brewed. You know, they should have the same recipe, the same quality of water for brewing. Everything should be exactly the same. But is it? Is it exactly the same? And that's the question, the big question mark for me. Even though these beers are the same brand, they're brewed from different countries, are they exactly the same? Is it an old housewives myth? Don't know how many housewives talk about it. Is this an old housewives myth that if you get beer from Spain and beer from UK, they're different? You know, I remember people saying, "Oh, we got to go to Spain, try the San Miguel. It's a lot better than the one we get in the UK." There's a different version in Spain. There used to be than the UK, if I remember rightly. It used to be a slightly stronger, better version, but it's not exactly the same recipe, is it? So we're talking about beers of the same recipe, purporting, so, trying to get me words out, supposed to be the same recipe, but are they? Are they, different? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to review the UK one, because I have reviewed the French one, and I did get a spot of bother from some people out there who did not like the review. I'll be honest, there's some people out there. Was I over top? No, I wasn't over top with it. I just said a couple of things what bored a few people's, bored of. It's my opinion though, so I'll stick with it. I don't think the French are pretty. I don't think the French are that good at brewing beer. That was the remark I more or less. Well, I said a little bit more than that, but I don't. I mean, there's breweries about and the beers are drinkable. I mean, I have got a favourite French beer, Le Choulet Ombre. I really like that one. But when it comes to beer, I honestly think in France it takes a backseat to wine. If you want a decent beer, you go towards the Belgian border or into Belgium itself. I've always seen it that way. But anybody out there who gets offended by that, that's my opinion. If you get offended by it, I think the France produce not very good beers. Send me a load of French beers and make me change my mind. There you go. Anyway, I waffled on for 4.5 minutes. Let's try the UK one. So we're going to use 2 bottles. We might as well while we're here. Let's get a whiff. Actually, no. I'm not going to review the UK one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do them back to back. So I've just cracked open the UK one. We put the UK in the turning point glass, and we put the French one in the Alpha Delta glass. Anybody remembers Alpha Delta? So we got I've got to be careful not to get these mixed up. So I better get my spectacles out because these is quite small writing. So that is brewed and bottled in the UK. That one. So we'll put that one there, and we'll get the French one. It's brewed and bottled in France. Let's crack that open. First of all, let's get a whiff from the bottle, shall we? And I'll be honest, they smell exactly the same. There's a sweet lemon, slight herbaceous, slight hint of coriander note there for me. I'll be honest, the smell of it isn't that bad at all. You know, it's not bad at all. The smell of that beer is not that bad. So we'll pour the UK one in. And what I'll do is I'm going to crack open another UK bottle, so we might as well make a decent glass of it. Might not have to, actually. I think we will. So there's the UK one poured in. So stick that there. Let's get the French one poured in. So, like I say, ideal world, they should be exactly the same. You know, it's still. Am I trying to, get rid of a myth here? Because I don't know if that's because of the light at the moment. Them two colours. Is it a myth that beers brewed in different colours? I'll tell you what, they do look very similar, but there is a slight difference there in colour. I'll be honest, a slight difference for me. The French one looks slightly darker. You've got sediment in both. Carbonation is exactly the same, but for me, the French one is slightly, by a gnat's whisker, darker. It is. So we might as well top up with the UK one. Top the UK one up. There we go. Perfect. And we will top up the French one while we're here. Perfect. I don't know what's perfect for French. What is perfect for French? I can't remember. Anyway, so to put up to the light again. For me, yeah, there is a slight darkness, a slight tinge of darkness for me. Everything else seems exactly the same. The head's exactly the same. Only that one glass is poured better than the other. So let's go for the whiff. You see, it's a nice... It's a nice smell. Now, you do get that peel, that fruit peel note. I tell you what, I think the UK one smells slightly more than the French one. But we're talking a gnat's whisker. Gnat's whisker. So I'm going to go in first with the UK one. Cheers, everyone. Bonjour, whoever it is. Now, it's one of them beers. What smells more interesting than it tastes for me. I thought the aromas of the beer were a lot better than the taste itself. What you're getting is a light body. It's like a salad beer. Smooth mouthfeel. Towards the end, you pick up the slight herbaceousness with fruit rind, lemon and orange rind for me. come to the fore. Slight hint of coriander. There's a kind of slight coriander note there. Not much. You can pick it up. But overall, to a lager drink, that will be wow. That's brilliant. You know, or you hate it. For me, it's light body, 5%. You don't pick up the 5%. So yeah, you know, I suppose there's an alternative to your macro lagers in a way. Yeah, so let's go with the French one. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Right, let's bring the French one in. Well, again, taste-wise, pretty much identical. But there is a slight difference for me. Could be me. This could be me. We're all different at the end of the day. Some people out there might notice a massive difference between the two. But for me, the difference is in the mouthfeel. The French one feels slightly harder than the UK one. Going again. Yeah, definitely. The French one has got a more of abrasive quality to it than the UK one. It's the mouthfeel, which is a slight difference for me. Taste wise, I don't think there's any difference really. I mean, the French bottles I've got are older than the UK bottles, so there could be a freshness thing going. You know, not as fresh as the UK one. Um, but the difference is the water. That's what I'm getting out of these. And it's not a big difference. I'm not talking about, oh, fucking hell, you got to go and get the French bottle. It's a lot better than the English. Nothing like that. There is a slight difference. We're not talking a massive difference. You know, Tesco stocking it from both countries. No one's going to notice it really, to be honest, but I'm picking it up. You can just do, when you do them back to back, you do pick up the difference. And for me, it's the mouth quality. Going again. French one feels more carbonated than the UK one. So, we're talking about housewife myths beginning of this video. Is it a myth that beers like a San Miguel or whatever, or a Foster's from the, well, it doesn't matter, or whatever, Foster's from UK, Foster's in Australia, San Miguel from UK, San Miguel in Spain, or whatever. Is it a myth that the beers are different? Well, I think on the surface, you know, for the average drinker, they won't be different. Okay, they won't be different on the surface. But if you get into the finer points, into the nitty gritty, into the small print between them, and you really start to think in your mind when you're drinking both beers, there is little slight differences. Little slight differences. It's not, you know, people say, oh, it could be your imagination. Well, it could be my imagination, but there's slight differences in it. So for me, I don't think it matters what country they come from. Shit beer or good beer, it don't matter if it's the same branding. But for me, there could be a slight element of truth in it, but overall, Joe Blogs on the street would not notice. So, boys and girls, thank you for watching this pointless video. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Kronenburg Blanc, UK, and Kronenburg France. What do I think of the beer overall? Well, it's not my. To be honest, it's. You're paying for the blue bottle. You might do. I like the blue bottles. I'll give them that. I like the blue bottles. I like that blue colour used to get on Citroens as well. I think it's a racing colour, wasn't it? If you remember all these years ago, I'm talking about the old Citroens. Coming back to it, would I buy this beer again? No. It's not enough in it for me. It's not enough in the beer, but I can see it's got its time and place. Preferably in the back garden in the summer with a salad and a few bottles of these. Yeah, I can see that going down quite well, to be honest. But apart from that, for me, it just doesn't do it really. It's not my type of beer, to be honest. But each to their own. And like I say, anybody out there who are disgusted with my comments on French beer, please change my mind. Send me some beer. Thank you so much for watching this beer review. As ever, you all stars, look after yourselves and take it easy. And it's a big kiss it and a big bib from me. Cheers.